am excited to be sharing my reading challenge for 2026 with you today. I have changed it up a bit, but the main theme is the same. Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So today I'm going to give you all the details about my 2026 reading challenge. As I said, the theme has stayed the same, so it is Christian fiction. But I have changed it this year. In the past 2 years, I have done 15 prompts. 1 prompt per month, and then 3 bonus prompts where you could switch out a bonus prompt for one of the monthly prompts if you didn't like that monthly prompt, or you could do all 15 prompts. Well, this year I have changed it and made it a little bit more challenging, or maybe easier depending on how you do it. This year I am calling it the Christian Fiction Bingo. So it is a bingo board with 24 prompts. Now don't let that scare you away, because you can do this in a few different ways. You could read 24 different books, 1 for each prompt, or you could double up some of the prompts, and you'll understand certain prompts you can double up. Not only certain prompts, and I will go into that. But you could double up, and you could only read 12 books if you're able to double up them all. Now, I do have them in monthly format, so I have 2 prompts per month. Those are the prompts that you could double up. You can put January's 2 prompts together if you would like, or you could read 2 books. But you do not have to complete them January, February, March if you don't want to. If you just want to randomly pick one prompt to do and put it, go right ahead. I am not policing this. Do what you want. The only rules I ask is that you read a Christian fiction book. Now, to come up with 24 prompts, I reached out to a bunch of booktubers and asked them to send me a prompt. So I have 10 booktubers that sent me a prompt for 10 months. I have fit them into their birthday month. As last year, I tried to do recommendation videos for every single prompt every month. I will do that again this year. So recommendations for January's prompts will come out in December. Recommendations for February's prompts will come out in January, and so on and so on. Okay? So that's to encourage you to read them in that month, but you don't have to. Do what you want. I say right at the top, double up the monthly prompts if possible, or for an extra challenge, use a different book for every prompt. And then it says complete prompts per month or in any order. Totally your choice. So when I do the recommendations video, I will also remind you which booktuber gave me that prompt and encourage you to go check out their challenge. Or their channel. Not their challenge, their channel. Okay, so let's look at the actual board. Now, I am a person who likes to be able to see the prompts, and I love a bingo board. If you've been following my channel for a while, you're not surprised to see a bingo board, because I have had a bingo board for a certain number of books to read every year, like brand new books to me, and that same bingo board or same style of bingo board for rereads. I have done that for 3 years now, and it's always been, well, 2023 was not the right way. Actually, maybe I've done it 4 years now. Wow, because 2022, 23, 24, 25, yeah, I've done it for 4 years. I've had a bingo board for 4 years. And 22 and 23, it was just a regular style bingo board, 24 prompts. In 2024, it worked perfect. It was 24 books to read in 2024. And then in 2025, it was 25 books to read in 2025. So there was just no free space for me. I had to read all books. Okay, now let's get into the actual prompts. So that is why the prompts are listed on the side and around so that you can still see them when you decide to put your book covers in. I will have this printable linked below, along with one that works for an Instagram post. Okay, so we have January. And January, the booktuber is Cora Mabry. Okay, and she gave me 2 prompts and said I could choose which one to use. So the prompts she gave me were dual timeline and hidden gem. And I decided to give her both prompts because she's a twin. So it just made sense to give her 2 prompts. Okay, so for dual timeline, her thought was January is the time of reflecting on the past year and looking forward to the new year. So read a book that has 2 years in it. And I pulled one recommendation book for every prompt, or try to. And the most recent one I read is The Women of Oak Ridge by Michelle Shockley. This is 1944 and 1979. Okay, then for Hidden Gem, a book that has less than 1,000 ratings. And for that, I have pulled The Dreams We Knew by Rachel Scott McDaniel because this has 273 ratings on Goodreads. And I loved this story. So that is the 2 prompts for January. Now, you could combine them. And when I do the recommendations video, I will have recommendations for each prompt, but I will also have recommendations that will work for both of the prompts in one book. Okay? Hopefully that's not too confusing already. Okay, February. February is Taylor from Tales and Treats with Tay. Her birthday is in February. And Cora's birthday is in January. That's why they all, right? Okay. So Taylor loves fairy tale retellings. She hosts a fairy tale readathon called February. I think that's how you say it. Okay, so her prompt is a fairy tale retelling. However, she was nice and said, if that is too hard, just go with subtitle on the cover. And I had to ask her what she meant by that. And then when she said, I'm like, totally, that's fairly simple. So for a fairy tale retelling, Fairest of Heart by Karen Whittemire. This is book 1 of the Texas Ever After series. And for a subtitle on the cover, we've got the series name on the cover. Or if we go back to this book, down here, it says A Novel of the Roaring Twenties. So that's just what you mean. Or even this book, this book says a novel. So it just has something extra besides the author's name and the title of the book. So yeah, that was fairly easy when she gave that. But I encourage you to do a fairy tale retelling. Okay, then I added the prompt of heart in the title because it just felt appropriate for February. And so the book I have to recommend is Heart on the Line by Karen Whittemire. This is historical fiction set in the late 1800s about 2 telegraph operators. Okay, March. I do not have a booktuber here that has a birthday in March. So if you're a booktuber and you have a birthday in March, let me know, please. Okay, so the 2 prompts are author's debut. And I have pulled Secondary Target by Angela Carlisle. This was her very first book. It's the first book in the Secrets of Kincaid series, and it is a romantic suspense. Then for the second prompt is a borrowed book or a gifted book. So borrowed is something you borrowed from a friend. You've borrowed it from the library. And gifted is a book you were gifted. So I don't have recommendations for that for you. But you could get an author's debut book from the library. So that's how you could tie in the 2 prompts. April. We have Alma from Alma's Book Journey, whose birthday is in April. Sensing a theme here? Her prompt is healthcare worker. Basically, it could be a nurse, a doctor, a midwife, an EMS worker, anybody that works in healthcare. And her reasoning is because she worked in healthcare for years. And so I immediately thought of, okay, I read a lot of suspense, okay? I immediately thought of Leah from Beneath the Surface by Lynn H. Blackburn. She is a nurse at a hospital. And this is book 1 of the Dive Team Investigations series. Then the second prompt for the month is favorite genre. So if you can find a healthcare worker in a favorite genre, perfect. For me, romantic suspense is my favorite genre. But yeah. Okay. May we have Amanda from Book Lover Amanda. Her birthday is at the very beginning of May. She lives in Tennessee. She has hosted the Southern Charm Readathon for the past couple of years. She is not doing it this year. But in honor of her, the prompt is set in Tennessee. Now, she thought that might be a little bit difficult, so she said we could do a book just set in the South in general. So there you have an option, whether in Tennessee or just in the South. And for that, I have pulled The Wedding Chapel by Rachel Hawk to recommend to you because this is set in Hearts Bend, Tennessee. And it's also a dual timeline. Yes, it is also a dual timeline. And so we are following this photographer that comes down to find out about a chapel and meets the person that built the chapel. And then it goes back and tells kind of the story behind why he built the chapel. I absolutely love this book. Okay, and then for the second prompt in May, because May is the 5th month, a 5-star prediction. Did I pull it? No, I did not. So I have a 5-star prediction video that I did quite a while ago that I need to read a book. I have 1 book remaining on that video. I need to read it to see. So if I have not read it before May, May will be my month. June, we have Lucy from the Lucy Chronicles. Her birthday is in June. And the prompt she gave, and she also gave options. And the first one is summer in the title. And if that was too difficult, just find a book that is set in summer. I do not own a book physically that has summer in the title, but I can tell you that this one, The Women of Oak Ridge by Michelle Shockley, is set during the summer because Laurel comes to visit her aunt while she's on sabbatical from school and comes for the summer and then has to be back in Boston by August. So this is set completely in the summer. Then the second prompt, let me go to the right month. The second prompt for the month is a booktuber recommendation. A lot of booktubers do a summer recommendations video, so I was thinking that would work perfectly, but you could also just do any book a booktuber has recommended. So any of these books or any that I'm going to be recommending soon, but it doesn't have to be me. It can just be any booktuber. Okay, July is Katie from Paperbacks and Ponytails. It is her birthday month. And so she gave me the prompt of set in Scotland because she dreams of visiting Scotland. I added set in the United Kingdom because Scotland itself could be a little bit difficult to find. I have only read a couple set in Scotland. And so when I was looking, I was like, ooh, and it's hard to know where books are set until after you start them. So that's why I kind of made it a little bit wider. However, I do have a book to recommend that is set in Scotland, and that is As Dawn Breaks by Kate Breslin. This is a historical fiction, and Great War of 1918, about somebody who is being accused of blowing up a factory. Okay, and then the second prompt is cursive font. So cursive font for the title. And this one just happens to fit. See how the font is cursive? There's a lot of books that have that. I mean, you could really just go very basic as well, like the in Wedding Chapel is cursive, but I'd encourage you to find a whole title in cursive. Then for August, we have Caitlyn from Chronicles of a Book Nerd. Her birthday is in August. And Caitlyn and myself always co-host the Keep Me in Suspense readathon in August. I say always, we've done it twice. We hope to do it again this coming August. And so because we host the Keeping in Suspense readathon, she loves reading suspense just as much as what I do. And most suspense books have law enforcement characters in them. So the prompt is a law enforcement officer. Now, you do not have to read a romantic suspense book to find this, or a suspense in general to find this. You can find this in contemporary romance. And the one I have to recommend is Sandpiper Cove by Irene Hannon. This is part of the Hope Harbor series. This is book 3 in the series, but you do not have to read this series in order. The town and some of the community members connect, but the main couples are different in every book. And in this one, we are following Lexi, who is the local police chief. Okay, so the second prompt for August is title in capitals. Again, I go to the Women of Oak Ridge, see how the title is all in capitals. September. I do not have a booktuber for September, so again, if your birthday is in September, please let me know. And the 2 prompts I have. The first one is transportation on the cover. We usually do, me and my husband, usually do road trips in September. And so this past September, I happened to buy quite a few books that had bikes on the cover. The Women of Oak Ridge just happens to be one of them. And so you can do transportation on the cover. You can do any type of transportation. A bike, a car, a plane, a boat, or a train. And so this is With You Always by Jody Hedlund. This is book 1 of the Orphan Train series. It is another historical fiction, and it is set in the 1850s. Okay, then the second prompt for September is in a series. So Krista from Books and Jams always hosts Series September, and I love reading series, so this just felt appropriate. And for example, this is book 1 of a series, so it works for both prompts. October, I'm going to do the main prompt first, and then we'll go to the booktuber. So the first prompt is Christie Award finalist. I have had this prompt for the last few years in the reading challenge. I am continuing it. It is an award thing for Christian fiction books. The finalist is always announced for the year, is always announced at the end of September or mid-September, I would say. And then the winners are announced at the beginning of November. So October, read those books or some of those books or a book of those. Okay. And so the booktuber for the second prompt for the month is Kat from Kat's Stories. Her birthday is in October. And the prompt she gave was intimidating. And she said this could be a big book, a genre you don't usually read. The cover looks spooky. A book you've been scared to pick up. A book with mixed reviews, etc. Whatever. Honestly, when I first read that this was the prompt she was giving to me, I was like, I don't want that. But I immediately thought of When the Day Comes by Gabrielle Meyer, because I've been avoiding that because it's not a genre I normally read. I don't read about time travel and stuff, but so many people have hyped it up. And I do have book 1 on my Kindle because I happened to get it free one day. So it was like, okay, well, if I have not read it by October, I think that's a sign I need to read it in October. November. November is Oceana from Oceana Reads Co. Her birthday is in November, and the prompt she gave me is house on the cover. No explanation, just that's the prompt. I'm like, okay. And that took a little bit digging. And Labyrinth of Lies by Irene Hannon. Yes, it's another romantic suspense. This is book 2 of the Triple Threat series. And there you have a house on the cover. Okay, then the second prompt that I chose myself, because November is also my birthday month. And I really want to do reread because I love to reread, but I know that a lot of people do not enjoy rereading. So I went with favorite author / reread. So you could just read a book by a favorite author, or you could reread a book by a favorite author. So for me, this would work for both prompts because I have read this one. It has a house on the cover. It would be a reread, and Irene Hannon is a favorite author. December. December, we have M from M's Books Are Everywhere. December is her birthday month. And she gave me the prompt of includes a celebration. And her reasoning was because we celebrate Jesus' birthday in December. So, immediately thought of Christmas books, but I'm not going to give you a Christmas book recommendation. I have True to You by Becky Wade, which has a birthday party for a grandmother in this story. So I thought that works perfectly. It is a contemporary romance, and this is book 1 of the Bradford Sisters series. And then the last prompt is new to TBR. So any book that you've added to your TBR in the last year, I would consider that new to TBR. Okay, so that is all 24 prompts for this reading challenge. I hope you will join in, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the description, in the comments below, and I will be sure to answer them and hopefully provide all the answers you need. I will also have the links to the various printables in the description below in a Google Drive folder where you could print out whichever one you want. I will also post this over on my Instagram, which is JaneReads_Insta, and you can find it there. I hope you will have fun with this challenge and that I haven't stressed you out by making it 24 prompts. Please let me know your thoughts, and I hope you will join for 2026. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.